Yeah. It's windy. It's windy as fuck outside. Is anybody else getting the windy breezes? The windy breeze? Got to do my vocal warm-ups. I'm warming up the vocals. Gotta gargle. How you guys doing tonight? About to go live here. I'm about to do it live. Fuck it! We'll do it live! That should be the name for the new show. Fuck it, we'll do it live. That's what I wanna. That's what we're gonna change the name to. Do the damn. Here we go. About 1 minute to go here. Last minute preparations. Got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes here. Oh, yeah. Hopefully I got the volume stuff right this time, you know? That's been a problem the last couple times we've gone live. It's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. We're learning on the job here. Seth Grimes live, a.k.a. Fuck It. We'll do it live. Go 10-second warning. 8, 7. Fresh off the Royal Rumble. I'm getting Royal Rumble hype flashbacks. Yeah. Oh shit. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Seth Grimes, and my headphones are falling off my head. It's that kind of day. It's been that kind of day. It's windy as fuck outside. Long day, but we are here, and we are here live. Kicking it with you guys on a Thursday night to talk some non-wrestling stuff. This is my opportunity, selfishly, to talk about stuff that's just not wrestling related. Has nothing to do with wrestling, and my channel is primarily wrestling. Some nerdy stuff on top of that. We'll get into some nerdy stuff here. We'll do some nerdy stuff. We'll talk some current events and stuff too. We get into a little bit of light politics on this show, but not a lot. Mostly just current event related stuff that's going on in the headlines and stuff. We don't get too deep. We don't push opinions on people. We don't try to change minds. It's not that kind of show. We're just having fun here, shooting the shit on a Thursday night, live as live can be, for only my third time ever. First two times had some audio issues, so the music, like the levels and stuff, I don't know. I could probably show it if I set it up, but I'm not going to waste time too. But like the levels on my end are like, they'll be low, but they're coming through peaking when I listen back to the recording, and it sucks. And it's one of those things, like in post-production, I can fix that shit. I'm an editing whiz, but live, we are out here without a net. But enough of that rambling. Let's go ahead and jump on into the topics we got here for you today. But before I do, if at any point you're watching and you decide, hey, this guy, he's handsome, I'd like to stare into his blue eyes sometimes when I'm falling asleep at night, or just listen to his sweet and sultry voice, then just hit that subscribe button down below. It's all you got to do. It helps a brother out. Costs you nothing. Let's go ahead and hop on into our first story here today, motherfucker. And we have USAID. Ruh-roh. The USAID was discovered to be getting into some shit, weren't they? They were caught slipping by the D.O.G.E department. This was the department that Donald Trump set up to go in and dig into the paperwork, dig into the spending, dig into the budget, dig into the dirt. They're going through everything with a fine-tooth comb to see what exactly is going to be sticking around under the Trump administration and what's going to be getting the axe. And they have clearly decided that this USAID is going to get the axe. Now, it doesn't sound like they're going to get the full axe because Marco Rubio saved it. He wants to use it for, whatever, for good stuff. I'm not sure I like that. As a freedom-loving gentleman, I don't know that I like a slush fund that's just available for politicians to use and run their dirty deeds through. That's, if it continues to exist, then it'll inevitably end up being abused again. But let's take a look. You don't believe me? Oh, how is it being abused? You might not have heard. Let's take a look here. So this is right at whitehouse.gov, what you're looking at right here. USAID, waste and abuse runs deep. So this is right on their website. This is what they were able to pull out of their ass. And we have, for decades, the United States Agency for International Development, you said what now? What'd you say? Has been unaccountable to taxpayers as it funnels massive sums of money to the ridiculous and in many cases malicious pet projects of entrenched bureaucrats with next to no oversight. Here are only a few of these examples of waste and abuse. $1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. I don't know about you, but I don't mind my tax dollars going to fund diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia because I care deeply about Serbia. Serbia is an important place to me. I could point it out on the map if you put one in front of me. We don't got one, so I guess we don't need to, we don't need to run that test. But I could do it. I could tell you all about their culture and everything. They're important to me. But these guys seem to think maybe that's a waste of money. I don't know. Is that a waste of taxpayers' money? What else we got here? $70,000 for production of a DEI musical in Ireland. Well, that depends. What's the script now? What is the script of this DEI musical? Maybe it's like Straight Outta Compton, the musical. That could be considered a DEI musical, right? A DEI agenda could be there for that. You never know. So maybe that could be. It depends on the script. Who knows? We'll see. We'll keep that one in the back pocket. $2.5 million for electric vehicles for Vietnam. Well, we went into Vietnam and we had a big old war with them, and we came out with our tail tucked between our legs and didn't accomplish shit. So let's buy them all electric vehicles as a way to say peace, right? I mean, that seems on the up and up. Let's see. What else do we got here? $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. Again, let me see the script. Maybe it's a good script. It's like Dylan Mulvaney, the movie, the opera. And she's like, oh, I used to be a boy, but now I am a girl, a girly, girly girl. And that could be, it could be the next big thing. It could blow up like Wicked. It could be the next Wicked. No, could be Colombia's Wicked. Don't knock it until you see what it's about, right? $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know what the publishing situation looks like down in Peru. I don't know, what kind of comic books these kids have. I would hope they just got the Spider-Man. And how do you think Captain America flies in Peru? Do they do like a Peruvian version of that? That's like Captain Peru or some shit like I don't know. Captain Peru. What's the flag look like for Peru? I don't even know. Let's see if we can find a Peruvian flag. That ain't it. Let's get a Google's up here. Peru flag. I know I'm not talking to the microphone. Fuck your face. I don't care. There it is. Look at that. That's a nice flag. Captain America with that shit on its chest. Look, he's got some kind of leafy thing, and then a different kind of leafy thing over here, and they're tied together. We got, what's this? Some sort of, is that a cornucopia, like the Fruit of the Loom logo from a past life, perhaps? What else do we got here? A little parched. We have $2 million for sex changes in LGBT activism in Guatemala. Do we need to fund? I mean, you could be pro-LGBTQ. You could be anti-LG. I mean, you can't be, because that would be it's not being a good human being. But I mean, what I'm saying is, no matter what your politics are, do we need to be spending $2 million on Guatemala's LGBT activism? Can't Guatemala fund their own LGBT activism? Why are we investing? So that's the thing. That's a common thing that you're going to see with this. And that's why I say I don't want a slush fund of black money out there for whoever, and I have my questions about Marco Rubio. I don't know. He's the one odd man out in everybody that Trump picked. Everybody that Trump picked are very freedom-loving, almost libertarian, like very small government. And that's why they're going in and shutting everything down. Shutting it down. Rubio's not. Rubio's a war hawk. He's a establishment Republican. He's a neocon. He's one of the guys from the Bush administration's era. came up right under that, you know. I believe he ran against Obama, didn't he? I don't fucking know. I don't trust him. I don't trust that guy. So we're leaving this open still. This was recommended to be shut down. They're leaving it open so that they can still fund shit somewhere along the way, I would imagine. But yeah, like, we don't need to be funding ideology in other countries. That's frustrating. These are taxpayer dollars, by the way. And we go into these countries, and you'll see this as we go down the list here, and we try to, we just meddle. We meddle in everybody's business. We're either toppling and overthrowing governments and putting in our own puppet leaders, or we're trying to change the culture and start revolutions and all that shit. Like, we're just nasty people on the world stage. And this USAID is what they are using, or at least some of, you know, it's a piece of what they're using. It's what they found so far to fund some of this shit. Transgender comic books in Peru, all that's going to do is spread transgender ideology in Peru. Shouldn't that be up for Peru to decide, and Peruvians, not for the American leadership to be deciding? They want to change their culture like they change our culture. $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. Okay. I mean, that don't bother me. What kind of tourism? Are students going there? I don't know. Some of this stuff ain't gonna be bad, but is it necessary? Especially when Trump ran on cutting the budget, you know. That was the promise of what D.O.G.E would be, as a group to, like, cut the shit, you know. That's what they're going to go in and just make recommendations to be cut. There's a lot of drama going on about that too right now. A lot of talk about, should D.O.G.E or Elon have the power to do that, and is there a conflict of interest there while he's doing that? And there could be, especially he's got so many separate businesses and government contracts. So I'm not completely closed off to that idea either. That's a very slippery slope. But for right now, they've said that he's not going to have access to anything that's conflict of interest, and that he really is just he's just making recommendations. Like, he can't make decisions. He has no power to cut anything. He just says, here's a bunch of shitty spending that you probably want to get rid of. Do you want to get rid of it? But he is going into the building, and he has access to the files. I don't know about him personally necessarily, but his team. So it's a thing to watch. We're keeping an eye on it. We're seeing where things go. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. They didn't itemize that one, for a non-profit, you know, no specific number there, linked to designated terrorist organizations, even after an inspector general launched an investigation. Well, yeah, they fund terrorist groups to overthrow governments. We started fucking Al-Qaeda, right? At some point, we fund our terrorist groups, and then that's just how it works. We leave them helicopters and stuff. Millions to EcoHealth Alliance, which was involved in research at the Wuhan lab. Questionable, obviously, right? Hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al-Qaeda affiliate fighters in Syria. Funding to print personalized contraceptives, birth control devices in developing countries. I actually don't mind that. Birth control is probably a good thing in a lot of these other countries. In fact, some countries do some horrible shit because of, like, especially in India, for example, like, having a female is considered like a waste. Like, you want a male baby. So they abort babies over there, like, all the time, and they don't have proper abortion over there either, so they do it the hard way, to use wrestling lingo. Oh, I went blurry there for a second. A little Gaussian blur filter. So that's touchy, you know, and one of those things in India because of that is like, you know, the daughter gets married off and the parents are supposed to provide a dowry, and they can't always afford that. Having daughters is expensive in those countries, so they just don't. Yeah. So birth control, and plus, you know, whatever, population control, I don't know. But I'm fine with that. Hundreds of millions of dollars to fund irrigation canals, farming, and fertilizer to support Afghanistan heroin poppy cultivation. So we're funding the poppy growing business over in Afghanistan. Of course we are. That's half the reason we were there. Of course we are. Come on now. Jesus. Now, this does not list... it says it goes on, but it does not list, you know, any good things that this does. I'm sure, though I did not pull it up, that USAID did some good stuff too, at least, just if not anything else, but to keep their cover, right? Just to say, hey, look at the humanitarian stuff we're doing. And maybe that's what Marco Rubio is trying to hold on to, but it just means that the next guy that gets in office can use it to make payouts again. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I don't know how well the news is covering this story. And I don't know what the spin on it is, depending on who you're listening to, if this is great, if this is horrible, if they're even talking about it at all or getting into detail about it. You know, one might tell you, oh, this is a humanitarian aid and we're saving people and they're getting rid of it. How horrible is that? And then another person will tell you, it's dirty black government ops shit. It's somewhere in the middle, probably, but do we need it? Should it stick around? No, probably not. Let's get rid of that shit. Let's cut that budget. I don't need taxpayer dollars funding that stuff, but I'd love to know your thoughts. Definitely open to a conversation. This is no hardliner shit here. You know, we're just talking here. So you got a different take? Let's hear your different take. But let's go ahead and move on over to our next subject. Kind of switch gears a little bit. We got a little old movie here for our horror fans. Big time switch gears, right? We go from fucking political hot button issue, USAID, that big news story to Scream. Scream 7, though. So this was a topic on my first live show here. And it was just that production had begun. And I was like, woo. But now they've gone ahead and they've announced that everybody's coming back. All the people are coming back. Who's coming back? All the people are coming back. Look at this. All of the people. We'll get into that in just a minute here. But it all started with this little ditty here. Let's go ahead and hit play if you have not seen this. That is Stu Macher from the very first Scream. That is Matthew Lillard. He dropped that on social media. Here he is right here, announced for the Screamcast. If you're not familiar, there he is right there. So my mom and dad are going to be so mad at me. Fucking hit me with the phone, dick. I love Stu so much. I love me some Stu Macher. He was my favorite character from Scream all time. And let me tell you, I am on board with this rumor mill of that everybody was saying that Stu's not dead. Stu's not dead. Stu's not dead. That was a big rumor. And there was originally, for the third Scream movie, they were going to do a movie. They had an original script where Stu was still alive. And they ended up switching. It was Kevin Williamson who wrote the first two Scream movies. That was what he had penned up for the third one. Who's directing this movie, by the way. And don't think he didn't have a hand in this creatively. He's directing this movie. He wrote the first two Screams and Dawson's Creek, by the way. I mean, Dawson's Creek. What a show, right? What a fucking show. Katie Holmes, just some good old boys, you know. Good wholesome family show. But so Kevin Williamson's directing this now, but he had penned an original script where Stu Macher lived, and he came back. But then when Kevin Williamson went on to write a different movie, like there was a delay, so he switched, I believe, or something to that effect, and he went on to a different project or had to pass on it, so they went with a different writer. And that's where they did the whole in Hollywood thing. Like they're filming on a movie set, right? And the killer ends up being Sidney's brother, which was Roman, who is this guy right here, Scott Foley. I don't know what else he's in. I couldn't have he even looks, I don't even know that I would recognize him as that guy from Scream 3. But that's him. He was the killer for Scream 3. You know why? Because not only Stu is coming back, but all of them are coming back. Billy's going to be there. Look at Billy. Oh, look at Billy. Handsome Billy. Billy's still handsome as ever, right? The bad boy. He's going to be there. He's going to be in this whole Scream gimmick for you. Nev Campbell's coming back. Courtney Cox is coming back. Can we kill Courtney Cox, please? Can we? Not the actor. No. Scratch that. Fuck. Can we kill Gale Weathers, please? That's what I meant. Don't. That was no. Bad. That is not what I meant. YouTube, I'm sorry. YouTube. For the love of God, I'm sorry. I'm live here. I can't edit that out. I meant Gale Weathers, not the actress, but the character. Gale Weathers has been in every goddamn movie. Don't nuke my channel, please. I try so hard. I'll do better. YouTube. Gale Weathers gotta go, man. She's been in every movie. It's preposterous. It's preposterous that Sidney's still alive this many movies in. For the love of fucking God, let's stop that now. Why is Sidney still alive? Sidney! Why is Gale still alive? Let's kill all these. I am so sick. So the Scream movies, and I don't know what they're doing, and we'll talk about it here in a minute, but because also look at this, Mason Gooding Jr., right? Half of or 1/4 of the core 4, 1/4 of the core 4. His sister's in the movie too. Where is she? Right here. Yasmin Savoy Brown. That's it. She's gonna be in here too. So we got half of the core 4 are in this movie. And my prediction, they get offed. They get murdered dead in the first scene, the opening scene. They get killed off. Why? Because the other half of the core 4 is never coming back to this movie, so we never need to continue. Jenna Ortega is going to be way too big of a star. This will be beneath her by now. And Melissa Barrera, she could come back, but I mean, I think she's kind of moved on career-wise from the horror movies too, you know. Scream's a good jumping off point, but you don't want to be in like 5 of the sequels, you know what I mean? And Jenna Ortega, she's a horror chick, but she pulled out of this one. So I predict that the other half of the core 4 get the axe in this one. But I don't know what they're doing. They're bringing everybody back from the dead, and it's weird. There are some theories. Now, the first theory that we can talk about here is just the simple theory that Stu is alive. Stu is still alive, as was going to be in Scream 3. And that's kind of what I always wanted to see. I've been hoping for this. There's been a rumor on the internet for a long time that he's still alive since that Scream 3. That's kind of why I brought that up, and I think I lost track of that. And the rumor's been going ever since, and it's been kind of fan fiction that they even incorporated into the movies. Like when they show the YouTubers, which are dead meat, by the way, shout outs. They show like, is Stu still alive? Like a YouTube questioner would do. So I've been wanting Stu to be alive and be like a cult leader of Scream killers. He's the one who's orchestrated all these new wave of Scream killers. That's kind of what the general consensus of what the internet rumor would be, and I like that. That sits well in my head. That makes me feel warm and tingly inside, so that's what I want. Another option is because they're bringing so many people back, this could just be an example of Sydney seeing ghosts or going crazy or flashbacks or things she's seeing only in her own head. Perhaps. If that's the case and that's all they do with Stu, I'm going to be pissed. Now, they brought Billy back for the last 2 movies. Was he in both of them? He was at least in part 5. I don't remember up top. I think I only watched Scream 6 once. I liked all of it up until the end, like that third act and the reveal. And I was just like, okay, this is getting bad. The Screams, that's what I was going to say. The Scream movies have been a little preposterous, you know. Everybody gets stabbed 100 million times, but yet they still live by the end of the movie somehow, some way. And then the people, the OGs from the original movies, are all still alive, except for Dewey, the only one that we actually like. Can't off Gail, not Courtney Cox, Gail. Can't off Gail Weathers. Can't off Sidney Prescott. Heaven forbid we off Sidney Prescott. I'd kill her in the first fucking scene. Kill her dead. Murder all of them in the first scene. A slaughter. They're having some fucking reunion or something. Ghostface comes in and just murders them all. You just go in there with a fucking gun at this point. That's what he does nowadays, right? Everybody's got guns. Art Clown's got a gun. Ghostface packing heat. Yeah. They should die. They should be. I mean, we got to move on to something in this, but I don't know what they're doing. Third option. This one I really like, and credit to We Watched a Movie, the YouTube channel. Mike, this was his pitch, and I don't know if he got it from somewhere else, but this is where I heard it first, and I love this so much. Like, love this so much. That they might be doing a Scream version of Wes Craven's New Nightmare. You guys know what Wes Craven's New Nightmare is? Let me educate you. Wes Craven's New Nightmare was the... What number was it? Was it the 3rd? No. Was it the 5th movie in the... No. It was the... Oh, it was the 7th! The 7th. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself in camera here. The 7th Nightmare on Elm Street movie in the franchise was called Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and it was a story that was meta before movies were doing meta. It is widely regarded, and because it is a movie way ahead of its time. It was Scream before there was Scream. In this movie, the actors from the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie are real life people. They're the actors. This movie follows the actors who played in the first movie. So Heather Langenkamp is the character, the final girl in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, not Nancy. So it's a trip. And Freddy is a demon who lived inside the persona of Freddy Krueger, where it was trapped as long as they were making movies. But now that the franchise is done and they killed Freddy off, the demon is loose and it's coming after the real life people. It's fucking genius. If you have not seen this movie, it is a little boring and slow. I'm not going to say it's like the most epic or scary or brutal, but it's so unique. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend you go check out Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and rumor is possibly at least one of the options on the table. As soon as they started signing up all these actors, right? It wasn't just, oh, Stu's going to be back, Billy's going to be back. Roman got shot in the head. Stu's plausible to still be alive. TV fell on his face. Maybe he could have lived. I mean, it's movies. You'll be fine. But shot in the head? You can't come back from that. Billy was a ghost in the last movie or two, but a vision anyway, a hallucination. So, but will he be real people? But with the recasting of all these former people, they could possibly be doing a Wes Craven's New Nightmare, a real life where the cast exists in Hollywood and they're living their lives and there is a real life Scream killer coming to get them. Now, as fucking awesome as this would be, and look, Scream has always been meta. Say hi, Goose. Hi, Goose. See a camera? Look, camera. See a camera? Oh, camera. This is Goose. He's a goose. He's a loud purr, too. Listen to this loud fucker. Huh? But Scream's always been meta. Scream's always been self-referential, and, you know, they got the stab movies within Scream. And they've always done these, they've taken weird chances and done outside-the-box things. And I think, one, Wes Craven, his connection to Scream, as a tribute to him. 2, this is the 7th movie in the franchise. 3, they have signed on all of these ex-cast members that have been killed off to be in this movie. So either they're flashbacks, they're hallucinations, or they're zombies, which they're not. Scream doesn't dabble in zombies, though they could. Who knows? They could get weird with part 7. Be like, okay, we're zombies now. Or they could be Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich and Nev Campbell and Gale Weathers, because not Courtney Cox. And there would be a real life person dressed up as Ghostface, really coming after the actual actors. Now, the only problem with this, as awesome as it would be, sorry, I got goose hairs flying around everywhere, little goose feathers. See that one? I like to stick to my microphone foam and my hat, and it just, ugh. Right, Goose? Oh, Goose. But that could be a slippery slope, right? Because there could be real, you know, that sets the stage for copycat killers. Oh, they're doing a movie about a real life Ghostface going after the real life actors. That's a little close to home. What if the real life, what if real life bleeds into real life? But either way, I want to see that. That's the movie I want to see. A close runner-up would be Stu is running a cult of Scream killers or something to that effect, where he's been alive the whole time and reveals himself as the master of surprise, Sydney. But a Wes Craven's New Nightmare, bro? How awesome would that be? Let's go ahead and jump on into our next topic. Goose is going to bail here. He might pop back in. He's a goose. He does that. He gets in the way all the time. He'll probably get into shit behind me and stuff because he knows I'm sitting here and I won't get up and go get him. Not on a live stream anyway, because then I'd be away from the chair, and I got to get a BRB screen or something away from keyboard screen. Fuck, I digress. What else we got here? We'll move this along a little quicker. This is a fun story. What do we got here? Warner Brothers has made a unique move in the entertainment business that I fucking love. The second I heard this, I went, that's genius. So, like Tubi exists and all these, like, I think there's maybe another one or whatever. It's like a free streaming service. They got the cheap ones. Plus, there's a billion others, Hulu, Netflix, all of that buy up all these movies and stuff. But there's also, the studio-owned streaming services and stuff. Warner Brothers Discovery obviously owns the Max streaming service. However, DVDs, Blu-rays, they're going the way of the dodo, right? They're out. They're on their way out the door. Streaming, digital, that's just what life's going to be. But the problem with that is that it takes up room to store this shit, right? It's got to be on a server somewhere. Somebody's got to keep this file around, and it's got to take up space. So they can be just vanish from existence. And I know this, and you might know this too from other things or from horror, like I know it from, but horror movies good old, like, the 80s had the best, like, slashers. Because there was a slasher craze in the 80s. And this is what built my fandom in horror, was the 80s slashers. And they were all bad. They were all cheesy. None of them were, like, good movies. Like, none of them were going to win an award. But there were some really bad ones. Really bad. Like, just the worst, cheesiest, funniest shit. Low budget garbage. But we adored those, right? That was part of the charm of an 80s slasher movie, like a Sleepaway Camp or something. Fucking amazing. So now we get to the digital age, and we start to notice some of these movies don't exist anymore. Like Maniac Cop. Maniac, the original Maniac. You can't find that anywhere. Maybe on like Shudder. I don't know. I haven't had Shudder, to be honest with you. Either way, studios are taking stuff off of their platforms that are taking up space and not getting views because it's actively costing them money to keep it on there at that point. So, what do you do with them? Yeah, you can pull them off and just leave them in storage somewhere, some fucking hard drive with the digital copy of it. You're not printing any more DVDs. It's not going on any streaming services. It's not getting licensed out to TV. It's effectively fallen off the face of the earth. But now Warner Brothers is opening up a whole new opportunity here that's just brilliant because YouTube's monetized. You can still go back and make money off these fucking things. So this was a very smart move. They're taking these movies that are actively costing them money to keep on a streaming service somewhere or to put them out anywhere to the public at all is going to cost them more money than they're probably going to make off these movies. So what do they do with them? Do they die? Or do we just kick them over to YouTube? YouTube's got storage space, right? They'll fucking hold the movies. And we'll make ad revenue off of if or when people watch these old movies. Now, they haven't put anything good up, but let's take a look at what they did put up. Look at this. This is their whole list so far. The Wind and the Lion, The Avengers with Ralph Fiennes. Dang. That's not The Avengers. Michael Collins, Mr. Nice Guy with Jackie Chan. Huh? That's not even a old movie. The Incredible Mr. Lippet, City Heat, The 11th Hour, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, Chaos Theory with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan fucking Reynolds movie for free on YouTube. Dungeons and Dragons. Not the latest one, but the original. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Shit, score. I'm going to add that to watch later, motherfucker. Look at that. Critters 4 full movie. Boom. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. As horror fans, nobody's watching these movies on streaming services. But people will watch them on YouTube. What do we got here? Flight of the Living Dead? Outbreak on a Plane? I never even knew that was real. And all of these movies are just here. Are they getting views? I don't know. Yeah. Look at this. 89,000 views. They made money off of that. Let me tell you something, brother. 95,000. 141,000. 294,000. 297. Bro, they're getting 475,000 on Return of the Living Dead. That's the one that I just saved because everybody wants to watch that. Dungeons and Dragons, almost up to 600,000. They're getting up to 500,000 views on these old ass movies that they were just gonna throw into storage. You know how brilliant this is? Honestly, this is fucking genius. And this is only a win for me, and I'm glad I said I hope they make money. They're making money. You got 500,000 views. Their lowest views are 17,000. Nope, 7,000. The big tease. There's 4 videos on this list. This one is the lowest with 7,000 views. You're making money off 7,000 views. For a movie that was going to sit on the shelf, you made a few bucks off that. Not a lot. You're not balling. Not a lot at all. But it all adds up. 7,000 ain't shit, but I'll tell you, 500,000 views definitely is. And consistently, 100,000, 90,000, 200,000. This was genius. They are the first movie studio to make this decision. And it's a very smart one. I hope they're successful for it, because then us as movie viewers are going to get that great experience of not losing content just because the studio doesn't want to keep it on its streaming service anymore. It doesn't have space to host this shit on Max anymore. And we're not going to print DVDs, so this movie's dead. Unless Tubi wants to buy the rights to it or something. I'm sure they do little bundle packages of like, hey, we got these 10, you want to buy these 5-10 movies for a month or 2 or 3 months or some shit. I'm sure that stuff happens all the time. That's how they get all these low-budget, cheesy movies, or like never heard of indie movies and stuff like that on like Netflix and stuff. But this could be a game changer. So the old archives, and it's a very simple business model. You put a movie out in theaters or on a streaming platform. Best bet, if it can make it to the theaters, if it's good enough for the theaters, then to the streaming platform, but even straight to digital. Either way, you got your couple money makers there. Then when you notice, you can always go in at the end of every month or every couple of months and do an audit of your content and go, these are the lowest viewed. Hardly anybody's watching this. Do the math on them. And anytime one of them loses you money, like it literally is costing you more to keep the film on the server, kick it over to YouTube. You're going to make money off of it. It's not going to be like major money. It's not like Netflix buying it or anything, but nobody was watching it. You were just going to shelf it. You were going to get rid of it. It's gone. Now it can live forever on YouTube. You don't got to worry about storage shit. That's YouTube's problem, not mine. Right? Every video I upload is a couple gigs. I don't even save my old shit. I'd have piles of hard drives. I can't. If I ever get like my YouTube channel ever gets nuked or something for like accidentally threatening to murder a Hollywood celebrity or something, then that's it. That's the end of all of it right there. All gone. No proof it ever even existed. Which is probably dumb, but like, I mean, it takes up a lot of space. These guys, they're using their brains, and I expect to see other studios follow suit. This is nothing but good for us. Moving on. Let's keep it going here. Captain America, Brave New Worlds, pre-sales, nowhere near Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, this is a couple weeks old. I couldn't find any real updates on this. But that's kind of been the story with this Captain America movie. In fact, they've been struggling the whole way. They've done full reshoots and rewrites on this movie. A couple rewrites, I believe, and at least a full reshoot. My wrestling friends will know Seth Rollins. They may know. Seth Rollins, the WWE wrestler, was in the Captain America movie. It was originally titled Captain America New World Order. He was in it. There were set photos. So it wasn't just, they hired him and then they decided to change their mind. No, there were set photos. He was in the movie. They filmed it and then he was cut. And that was no fault of his own. It was cut because they're doing a completely different movie. Whatever test audiences they showed it to were like, meh. So now they're trying to spice it up. Now they're trying to make it like, make people give a shit about it. Make it an actual worthwhile Marvel movie. And I don't know. My Marvel fandom has been waning for a long, long time. For me, after Endgame, it was all downhill. Some good stuff here and there. I liked the Doctor Strange movie. The Multiverse of Madness. I liked the Spider-Man movie with the 3 Spider-Mans. I obviously like Deadpool and Wolverine. That was fine. But they've been slipping. A lot of that has to do with making certain choices about things, like killing off or writing off the male versions of characters and replacing them with women or people of a different skin color, perhaps. This has been in the agenda. That's the famous South Park joke, right? When he's like, Cartman's like, put a chick in it and make her gay. Let's see if we can pull that up here. Come on, you're being slow. We're on live here, you fucker. We're on live. Work with me. Cartman. What's her name? Kennedy? Kathleen Kennedy. That's right. Right here. Let's just for fun.
Put another gay diverse woman in it. Make it more fucking lame. No, what's going on with my stars? No, Kathleen Kennedy. Is there a problem, people?
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it. Make her gay.
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones. Put a chick in it and make her lame and gay.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's try that. Again.
Kathleen Kennedy is down on set right now ruining the new Bambi movie.
Put a diverse woman in it. Make it lame.
Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby dear. Put a chick in it. Make her gay.
We've sent her away to have lunch at Spago.
Oh my God! I'll leave it there for copyright reasons. But that's funny, right? That's funny. So we wonder about these pre-sales, huh? When we change Captain America to the Falcon. No disrespect to the Falcon either, bro. None. But he's the Falcon. I mean, come on. He's the sidekick of Captain America. He's not Captain America. Nobody cares. And it has nothing to do with his skin color, by the way. Even though I think making him the new Captain America was a choice to diversify that character. And you can hear that when Anthony Mackie talks about it himself, where he got himself in a little bit of hot water here. Commentary, controversial, explained. Let's listen to what he had to say about this here Captain America character that he's taken on.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity. Someone who is trustworthy and dependable. It's kind of, this is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors, I believe, want to get back to that day before someone told you no. When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons to save the princess in the tower, that kid really believes there are dragons out there. That stick is really a sword and he's really trying to save that princess. And then one day somebody told him, no, there are no dragons, that's not a sword, and that princess is not there. And all of his little dreams were dashed. So, as an actor, I feel like our job is to get back to the day where we see that dragon and we slay that dragon to save that princess. And that's kind of what this movie was for me.
Okay. So, I mean, what does that even mean? I don't think the word America is really part of it. No, it means more than that. Captain America stands for something. He's right about that. Like my moral compass as a human being is Cap. What would Cap do in any situation? Doesn't mean I'm going to choose that. I am not. Captain America could wield Mjolnir. All right. I can't. That's not me. I don't have that kind of goodness in me like Cap does. Cap is a pure of heart soul. And that's why, to me, he's my moral compass. He points north. What would Cap do always will point me in the right direction of good, whether I follow that path or not. So he definitely does stand for something more than I'm just a patriot, But he was also a patriot. This was the guy that beat up fucking Hitler. And, they literally made Captain America beat up the Nazis and Hitler himself during World War II because he was around back then. So he does stand for more than America, but it's Captain America. So when you say that kind of shit and then people go, well, why do I want to go see this movie? Because it's got Red Hulk in it, maybe? I don't know. I'll probably wait till it comes out on streaming or I'll listen to the reviews. And if they're like, this is the return of the MCU, I'll be like, all right, fuck it. You pulled me out of my chair. Let's go. But for me, there's no hype here. And Anthony Mackie's not helping himself. This is the same kind of attitude that made him lose to Eminem on 8 Mile. Same shit. He's just a negative Nancy. No, I mean, I get where he's coming from. I get what he's trying to say, but it does kind of spit in the face of what Captain America really was, because though Captain America is much more than America. America! Fuck yeah! That guy. He's more than that, though. You know, he's truth and he's justice. You know what made me love Captain America? Because, I've never really liked, the goody two-shoes. You know, I'm not a Superman guy. And I didn't like John Cena when he was at the top of the business. I don't like these goody two-shoes that just never do the wrong thing. Sometimes you got to get a little dirt under your nails, right? But when Cap chose the side against the Sokovia Accords in Civil War, he chose to stand against the government, against their control of the Avengers. My boy. So I would say Cap will never steer me wrong. He's the moral compass. He's the moral compass. Because that was the right decision. You don't hand over the fucking Avengers to the government as a government agency. No, we're not a fucking military tool you can deploy at your whims. Especially because they were infiltrated by Hydra like they are now in real life. It's a half-assed joke, but I mean, they had the slush fund. You saw the clip. What do you guys think? Are you going to see Captain America? And did Anthony Mackie, did Papa Doc ruin it for you when he was up there rapping and busting his freestyle about fuck America? That's what I heard anyway. He was up there battle rapping and he's just like, yo, fuck America. That's what I heard. So, I'm just kidding. I'm being ridiculous right now. But are you going to see Captain America? I'm going to see the movie. It's just, am I going to see it in the theater or am I not? You know, I have in my mind, I know what movies I want to go see. I'll go see Scream 7 when that comes out because Stu's back in it. But, you know, I kind of have an idea if I'm going to go see a movie or not. But sometimes I'll wait and see what the trailers are, or not the trailers, the reviews, the first reviews, the early reviews. I'll watch all the YouTubers talk about it. I'll get their general consensus, and that will tell me, kind of educate my opinion on if I'll spend the money on it or not. Because movie tickets be costing, bro. You see the price of movie tickets these days? Oh, my God. It's unbelievable. It's outlandish. It's quite frankly disgusting. All right. Let's move on over to our last topic here and wrap up this live stream here for you guys. Appreciate you watching. If anybody's watching live right now, we're still building this house. We're still building this house one brick at a time. People watch, people don't watch, doesn't matter. I'm here. I talk. But if you're watching after the fact, too, hopefully the volume's not fun. I'm so pissed. I got to tell you, man, I am pissed when I listen back to those because you almost just want to delete them, but I don't want to just do that either, you know? It's like, just let it live and be the story of the show. Hey, remember when Seth Grimes Live was sucked and the audio was all shit? Yeah. All right. What else we got here? Oh, this is a fun one. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. I never knew who Justin Baldoni was until I heard about this story. And this will interest you too, I promise. Don't you tune out on me. Just because you're looking at a little love story here on the screen. Don't you? This gets interesting. Trust me. So, I know Blake Lively. One, because she's hot as all fuck, right? She's super hot. Very popular. You know, famous celebrity. Married to Ryan Reynolds. Also very hot. Famous celebrity, right? Sexy power couple. And then this guy. This guy I had no clue about until he did this movie with Blake Lively. It's called It Ends With Us. It's based on a book about some kind of romance and domestic abuse type shit where love goes wrong. And in said movie, they had a whole lot of drama going on because these two, they don't like each other. They did not like each other behind the scenes. And Blake Lively had made an attempt to do a coup to take over this movie. She tried to do a bunch of rewrites for this movie and then tried to push them on this poor sap here who was resistant to those rewrites at first. So, yeah, you got great ideas, Blake. But I like my movie better because I wrote it. Fuck you. I don't think he said that. He said it nice. She didn't like that. No, I really think that this is how it's supposed to go. And apparently Ryan Reynolds got in on this conversation and used his star power and muscle to pressure this fellow here, this cuck guy here, to go along with her side of the story. In fact, the scene that we're looking at, and I haven't seen the movie, but I know that this scene that we're looking at is the most famous part of the movie, and it was written by Ryan Reynolds. Credited to her, but then in a private message somewhere leak, oh, trust me, this gets deeper. Taylor Swift's involved too, guys. This is a juicy one. Tell you, we're getting into some pop culture, current event stuff. This is fun. Not an expert on it. Go to TMZ for that shit, but you just want to talk a little bullshit. Let's talk a little bullshit. So Ryan Reynolds actually wrote the rewrites of this and pressured this motherfucker with Blake, and they brought Taylor Swift in as well. There are texts that were leaked that reveal between these two that Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were all at Blake and Ryan's house or penthouse or whatever the fuck. Invited this dweeb over to give him the old hard sell on accepting these rewrites again. And he finally caved in from the pressure of all of these superstar megastars going, you really should do this. I think they're great. These are probably the best rewrites I've ever seen. I'm telling you, this will take your movie to the next level. And a lot of that has to possibly do with the fact that Ryan Reynolds was maybe a little bit jelly of this fella here. Let's see here. We'll hit play on this. This is just going to be a little timeline video. Heated conversation. Apparently they were getting into arguments on the set. And it carried over into interviews where they were doing separate interviews. They were not doing interviews together, and they were moody. Blake claims that Justin had fat shamed her. So what this turned into was some accusations. First, Blake then filed a complaint against this guy. I believe this was after the movie came out. This Baldoni feller filed accusations. And then she later filed an actual lawsuit against him. Let's keep this going. Which actually caused WME, his entertainment agency, to fire him. WME owns TKO, by the way, or is part of under the TKO umbrella. Blake Lively rips Justin Baldoni for It Ends With Us video. He did a video talking about it. And then that's when she filed the set. Because he came out with all this drama. Text messages leaked and shit. Where he felt pressured. by Ryan and Taylor and Blake to do their version of the movie because Ryan was maybe a little jealous about these two being, his wife being romantic with this man bun fellow, right? So jealous, in fact. Get this. This is fun. This is fun. You ready for this one? Are you ready? Remember that Deadpool movie, Deadpool and Wolverine? Remember it? So, here, this guy, his name is Justin Baldoni. This guy, apparently he's known to wear a man bun. Who else wears a man bun? Nice Pool. That's who. Told you this gets good. This gets better. This is fun. This is a fun story. Nice Pool. Look at those two. Are they similar? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Remember when Nice Pool talked about maybe starting a feminist podcast? Guess who has a feminist podcast? Guess. And Nice Pool's very pro-women, very cuck-like. Stick up for women. Very feminist, an ally to feminists. Just like Nice Pool. Where Nice Pool rips, where it's, he's the butt of the joke of Deadpool and Wolverine being a massive fucking douchebag with a fucking ponytail bun and a dusted on beard. Chiseled handsome features. And a podcast supporting feminist movements. Coincidence? Now you may be saying, but Justin Baldoni has filed his own counter lawsuit. Pew, 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 pew. I gotta get a button that does that. Pew, 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 pew. His own counter lawsuit, baby. And has requested that they freeze all production notes and maintain the records for all production notes on the creation of this character for Deadpool and Wolverine. It gets deeper because there is, oh God, I don't know if I want to spend the time to Google it. Let's see. We'll pull up our Peru flag. What was I going to Google? So now I completely forgot. I got sidetracked by this flag here. Oh. Nice Pool credit. There we go. What do we have here? That's a small ass picture. Gordon Reynolds. Gordon Reynolds was the actor credited in Deadpool and Wolverine playing Nice Pool. Gordon Reynolds. Not Ryan. Gordon. You want to know who Blake Lively personally thanked in the end credits of her It Ends With Us movie with this Justin Baldoni fella? Special thanks to, wait for it, anybody? Gordon Reynolds. So he is absolutely a parody of this douchebag. So we have this douchebag that Blake and Ryan just tried to do a hostile takeover of his movie. I don't know if they're looking for more production credits. I don't know if it was a jealousy thing that Ryan didn't want certain types of scenes to be filmed a certain way or something. We're late in the show. Fuck you. We're all friends here, and we've been on for almost an hour. I'll do what I want. They tried to do a hostile takeover of it, and they brought Taylor Swift in, and they were threatening. There's a literal text exchange where Blake says that she's Khaleesi from Game of Thrones and that Ryan and Taylor are her dragons, and he will see. Literal. That's a fact. That's a real thing. I didn't pull up the text images, but all this is leaked. This is all right here. This is the whole, look at this. TMZ has a full stream of it. And look at Bad Blood. Taylor Swift. Bad Blood with Blake Lively. I'm not your dragon. Remember I said I'm Khaleesi and they're my dragons? I'm not your dragon, bitch. Beefing. Beef daddy. Taylor Swift unhappy. Blake name dropped her. Keep my name out of your mouth, bitch. Get Will Smith to go up there and slap her. So this has been just a fun little story. And now I don't pay much attention to the Hollywood dirt sheets, you know, because they have, you know, if I have any wrestling fans watching, because I do mostly wrestling content, you know, we got the wrestling dirt sheets. Hollywood has dirt sheets. And this has been, you know, TMZ's a Hollywood dirt sheet, essentially. Variety, that kind of stuff. The Hollywood Reporter. And they've been on this, but it just keeps going. And it keeps going. And it gets deeper, and it gets deeper. And there's more details that come out. And it just, and you know, it's fun in these text exchanges. Ryan gets on some of these text exchanges, and he drops Ryan Reynolds jokes in real life, in personal texts. Ryan Reynolds jokes. I think he said if he can get the filming date rescheduled for something, because he was going to film Deadpool and Wolverine, and he didn't want to be alone away from his wife for too long with this handsome studly fella. Look at this guy. I wouldn't want my wife with that guy either. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is a handsome guy. Don't get me wrong. You know, I don't know if this guy's a step up or not, but he's a pretty little guy, right? That guy would get turned out in prison, wouldn't he? So Ryan wanted to switch around, do a little switcheroo with the filming schedule. And he said, if you can do it, I will tattoo the name of your whoever on my taint. So Ryan Reynolds joke in the fucking, there was another one too. I don't remember off the top of my head, but this has just been endlessly fascinating. It just keeps going too, because now Taylor's mad. That's the newest development of this, you know, but it started with, oh, there's drama on the set, to, oh, these guys are giving weird interviews, not doing them together, maybe not getting along, words coming out about that. And then Blake files a fucking lawsuit. And then this guy gets fired from his entertainment agency because these are sexual harassment lawsuits. And obviously, the second that you're accused of sexual harassment, everybody needs to cancel you completely. You got to get fired. You got to be kicked out of your home. You're living on the street now. They take your dog away. They go in your fridge and they eat your fucking food. All of it just because you were accused. Accused. Doesn't mean he didn't do it. I'm just saying, you know, we tend to cut people's heads off before we find out if they're guilty or not. He filed the counter lawsuit against them, Ryan and Blake, I believe, and part of it includes this fella right here, Nice Pool, who really just existed in the Deadpool movie to be a troll for this guy. Another little thing is that Deadpool was obsessed with Lady Pool. Nice Pool was obsessed. Remember, he talks about Lady Pool's slimmed down after she had a baby. Apparently, that's an inside joke because Baldoni did that. That's where the fat shaming or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you look good after your baby. Like, and Blake's really bitchy, so apparently, I don't know the chick, but just from, you know, I've seen her in interviews and stuff. She's very catty. You say the wrong thing with her, and she challenges you, and she gets very bratty. She's a brat. And you guys ever, any of you guys ever date a bratty girl? A girl that just wants to be a brat? She's a brat. She's a brat. So all of this has been fun. It's fun to keep an eye on because it just keeps growing, and I thought I'd share that. And this is the format for it. We do this. This is why we have this show. This is why we have this show, because I can't talk about this on my wrestling show. Can't talk about this on my wrestling show. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up there, folks. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate anybody who's watched this because this is new and I'm trying to get it over to use wrestling lingo. So we'll keep doing it when we have news to talk about. I'd like to do this weekly, but there are some weeks where I don't know that I even have enough to talk about necessarily. But we'll see. We'll keep playing it by ear and we'll see how the audio turns out on this and all of that. Appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button down below if you liked it. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes. And we'll catch you in the next live stream, motherfuckers. Stop streaming. This is awkward because I can cut it when I'm editing. I can just cut right after I say in the next video or whatever. And now I gotta go in the next video, and then I go, okay, where's the? I think I can hotkey it. I can hotkey it. We'll stop. We'll do that. We'll do that.